Hello and welcome to Creators on the Crest. I'm Stephanie and this is the Wolf Out series reading number 3 of 12. Today I've pulled 2 cards to determine the theme, which I'll talk about in a moment. And we're going to use what's called your best self spread today. And this is really about helping you move through a specific experience or overcome some obstacles. If this particular reading in the series doesn't resonate, try a different one. If you're interested in a personal reading, there will be links in the description below. You can also find me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Creators on the Crest. Okay, so let's take a look at this one here. This journey comes in, and part of the journey that comes in at this time, if you've clicked on this reading for you, is something to do with a choice with this 2 of Watchers card. So we kind of have many paths to the same area here and paths that branch out in different directions. Now, one of the things that I learned from a valued mentor of mine was that when we move energetically in the world and we make decisions and choices, we are navigating our solar spiral of creation. That's one of the reasons that astrology can be so helpful to us, because it can help us understand the tendencies on our path. But we also have to remember that we always have a choice. And this card is all about choice. It's all about acknowledging that we have choices, even if we can't see them, even if we're positioned such a way we can't see them. Now, coming up with this card is the 5 of Caretakers. The 5 of Caretakers card is a card of, you can see here, regret. And so when we look at this card, there's obviously a sense of defeat here. There's obviously a sense of, I may have made a choice and I regret making that choice, or I fear making one of these choices because what if I'll regret it? What if I make the wrong choice? So those energies are not a very empowering state to be in. And we're going to see how we can work through that. So if you happen to click on this reading and you're reflecting on a choice, or you've had a choice recently that you've made and you're unsure, this is the reading for you. And this is all about how we also choose to navigate the situations that are placed before us. I'm going to pull some additional cards, and then I will mention what each one has in store for the reading. Okay, so remember, we're talking about choices, big choices in life, right? We adults, we have to make decisions, we have to make choices. Most of what we decide and choose, it can be something as simple but as profound as to what should we eat for dinner, to something very complicated like what job do I take? Do I enter into this relationship? What direction do I go? And because there's an energy of hesitancy here, a fear of doing the wrong thing, going the wrong direction, we need to take a look at this. So your goal really is to have this change, is to embrace the seasons of life. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season. Turn, turn, turn. This wheel here shows a path of moving through the different seasons, and each season will have different lessons in different parts of the cycle. Your goal is to get comfortable moving through the seasons. For some of you, this could be a choice you're making about moving. So seasons could literally be involved. You may be trying to go somewhere warmer, for example, and get away from the cold winters and bring that into a fulfillment. That may be your goal. This could be just finding more ease with weathering the seasons of life and the changes and moving as smoothly as you can around the wheel, around the cycle. In the second position here, the nature of your current challenge is separation. So if you are in a partnership that is currently separated, this could be you feeling like the lone wolf. and out in the dark on your own. For some of you, that may be the case. For some of you, you may be separated and deciding whether you take it further and make it more permanent, such as a divorce. For some of you, this separation could be just you separated from yourself in some way. Maybe you feel separated from your intuition. Maybe there were some red flags and you regret you didn't listen to those red flags when making a certain choice. And so this is challenging. These are the challenges we face in life. These are the things that seemingly could hold us back. But when we look at your strength here, I really like this one. He's so cute. She's so cute. The Alpha of Hunters, which I think this is a he because it represents the King of Wands. Discipline. And this is an energy in your strength that will be most helpful. So let's say you're making choices around what kind of foods to eat and you're trying to make good decisions. You definitely don't want to have that ice cream if it's going to cause you to have, a problem later, a digestive issue, right? It can be things like that. The discipline is coming in your strength. It's going to be important to quiet the mind, and it's going to be important to have something for your body if you are dealing with any kind of physical challenge here, right? Or getting on a certain health program, exercise program. Discipline is the name of the game. And this alpha, he comes in to let us know, no matter what, we are committed. We discipline ourselves. And I am feeling some release. Some of you have some resistance to this. I'm definitely feeling it come up from my heart into my throat. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now, what's really interesting here, because this discipline is your strength, if you're in a partnership too, or a separated partnership, you may be just trying to not be in contact with the person, and it may be taking a bit of willpower for you, but it's not healthy for you to go back to that person or go back to that energy or go back to that situation or go back to that friendship. It doesn't serve you, but you're used to it. It's a comfort zone. So you may have to pull on that discipline and step into this energy in order to stay strong with it and stay on that smooth wheel. In your weakness, interestingly enough, is the Three of Hunters, collaboration, okay? You may have, or you may be stuck in an energy of where you're being forced to collaborate. For some of you, this could be a work situation. And it's taken all your energy not to just say, fuck it, I quit. Here's my 2 weeks. I'm done. But then you come back to, well, there are certain people I like here and I don't want to leave them behind. Or you feel stuck as part of a team and if you leave, you'll be letting other people down. Or this represents multiple family members involved here. If this is a separation or divorce, this represents there's other people involved here and I have to learn how to work with them, and I'm going to have to learn how to do this. And this is in your weakness. Okay? You may need to come back into this challenge here. Make yourself aware that you are kind of the lone wolf here right now and pull in the discipline. Determine what is really healthy for you and pull on that discipline, because I feel, and this could also be like, let's say you are trying to get on an exercise program or a really healthy eating program, clean eating, and your spouse or someone is bringing home like the ultra junk food or like the candy you like, they're bringing you that. And you're like, I told you I'm trying to eat healthy, or, somebody's buying up, just a bunch of fried foods and just things that, sugar and things like that. And so that what might seem at first like they're having a nice gesture towards you, it's really not helping you. So that collaboration is actually coming up as a weakness. Now, the advice here is to achieve some level of efficiency. This is the alpha of hunters, and this is the pack. So this means the advice is try to find the balance. And if we're looking at multiple people involved here by these, let's say they're represented by these green triangles on the tree here of this family tree, you are one of the triangles, and you deserve to be in balance too, right? You deserve to be able to trust yourself to make the best decisions. And you deserve to be able to know that you will, even if things don't feel like they're in balance now because of a choice you made, you will be able to forgive yourself and bring some stability into this because you are committed to being efficient. You're committed to being disciplined. One of the things I want to mention before we finish this reading up is that when we look at this picture, at you as the wolf, you can walk, if you've come down a path and it ended up in regret like this, or you're in a tough situation where you're kind of feeling stuck, or like, hey, maybe this wasn't the right path, you can always backtrack. You can always backtrack to this central point and take another path and try another path. Now, a lot of times what happens when number one of two things happens. We're either so afraid to make a decision that we just stay here stuck, stagnant in this central portion here, and we never take a path. We never venture out. We never challenge ourselves. We stay in our little comfort zone here. And that's a fear response. We never venture out on a path because we're like, oh my gosh, what if it's the wrong path? What if it's the wrong one? Well, guess what? If it's the wrong one, you just backtrack a little bit, because the backtracking is part of the journey too. The journey down this path and back down the path to reorient yourself and continue another way is super valuable. It's part of the journey. It's not wasted. Also, there's an element of the unknown here. What if all of these paths lead to something? You don't get to maybe know exactly what that is, but you get to move. You do get to make the choice, and you get to know that you'll be able to make other choices or different choices in the future. For some of you, this could be an issue of trusting yourself to make the right choices. Maybe you've had some bad habits or some bad ways of what you would consider bad ways of like behaving or treating people, or you're going through those thoughts of, I didn't do enough, I should do more, this part's my responsibility, trying to figure out what's their responsibility, and really we just need to acknowledge that we need to keep moving through choices here. So it could be different for some of you than it is for others. But the idea here would be to use discipline and efficiency. And I sense the movement because we have this seasons here. The goal is to move. The goal is not to stay stagnant, stuck in the middle. So maybe we need to go explore this path, explore and see what's going on, and then come back. Maybe that's not what we wanted. Okay, well, we'll go a different direction and see what that path holds. And all along the way, we're gaining and we're growing. Definitely take some time after this reading to do something cyclic, ride a bike, walk around the block, howl at the moon, do that kind of thing. Get yourself moving, and the physical movement in the body will help the movement of these energies as well. I hope you've enjoyed this reading, and I'll see you next time.